This is a small video capture of the upper reaches of the Yangtze River. Spectacular. The background that you can see is by a request from one of my viewers from Pacific Pami. My mother-in-law 80 today, and she reminds of how old she is. I wondered if you could do a montage of the screen behind you. Well, there we go. This is Tokyo like 2 days when he came home in our old house. Welcome along to the channel. It's the 18th of March, Friday, 2022. And in the space of this month, lots of things have happened, not just in China in itself. You can see sort of some of the images here. These are a lot from South America, that there's been heavy rain, there's been sort of like floods. And is this related to climate change, global warming? Things like here in Brazil, you can see how windy it is. Is this normal? And again, how life is like when the rain controls the world, so to speak. Let's hop into what's happening in the Three Gorges Dam, or the Yangtze River, for today. First of all, the levels for you, and I apologize, this is all in Chinese. I didn't spot that with the screenshot, but the top one is Kutan. This is Chongqing, 165.88. That's gone up. Gone down again is the Three Gorges, third from the bottom, 166.26, but not that much, just a couple of centimeters. Inflow is back at 6,000. The outflow is 7,860. And with that, let's have a look at the weather over China, central China, the Yangtze River. Okay, so it looks like this. The hand, as always, is approximately by the Three Gorges Dam-ish, and over the next couple of days, this is today, for example, it looks pretty dry. So this is what it's normally like this time of year, but as we go on through the weekend, eventually you see some rain coming to the northeast of the Yangtze, and then come on Sunday, then we start to get the rains. Not big rains, but you can see some rain around. Then we sort of get the millimeters going up to 10.7, which is like 1 centimeter per hour, and it goes higher to 17. And again, the normal kind of thing, but not this time of year, is from the west to the east. So what I was trying to do and trying to find is some videos or images of places affected by the rain, and the only ones I could find is actually in Wuhan, I do believe, and these were taken a couple of days ago, and it doesn't really correspond to the weather. Now, either the weather is wrong or these pictures are old, but the date they said they were posted was in March 2022, in this week or the week before, and it seems, well, very little rain for that. The title of this show is related to, it says, flood prevention. What has China done in the last year to preserve the aging dams, which we quoted about? I did find an image that looks like this, but this is just a portrait. This is just a photographer's point of view, not a real picture, just a painted picture of what they are doing, and you can see, or supposedly they're doing, but I don't know why they can't take a real picture. And you can see that they do have the cranes there, and this is their flood prevention to promote that everything is going to be okay in 2022. Yes. What is it like to work with the electricity related to the dams? Well, again, I've been scouring the internet high and low, and did find some images of these electrical workers. And would you do this job? You cannot have a fear of heights. It must be really scary. Not only are you climbing 100 meters in the air or even higher for that, but you are dealing with electricity, and you've got to be 100% sure that the electricity is turned off when climbing this. It's really, really scary, and I wouldn't do this for all the tea in China. Wednesday night in Japan, there was a 7.4 magnitude earthquake hitting eastern Japan late Wednesday night and injuring quite a few people, and in cutting power to millions of homes. If you've never experienced an earthquake, they are incredibly scary. I have lived in the Philippines before, or worked in the Philippines before, and I have been in one earthquake where the whole house started to shudder. And then we went outside. Really scary indeed. And that was I think it was like a 7.8 magnitude, but that was like 400 kilometers away. But the actual city where I was in, it was called Cebu, by the way, it did shake. Scary. So prayers and thoughts for the people in Japan who went through this. It's really common in Japan, Korea, Philippines, China. They're on the ring of fire, the earthquake, the two plates that rock each other. But when it gets high to 7+, this is when it becomes a little bit scary. The good thing about Japan is that they do have a high building regulation standard, that buildings can withstand possibly even an 8 if it's built well. These are apartments, offices, etc. But you can see when there's an earthquake in China, the standing relationship or the quality is not that high, and they don't seem to have the regulations related to, is your building earthquake proof, unless VIPs are living there or you pay a premium. But really, just the common person like you and I, how do we know, is another question mark. I think I've just been ranting on for this video. If I do get more information about the three gorges, if I do find more about the floods, I will put it on the show. But at the moment, what we really can only do is look, the main two things of the show is looking at the weather and looking at the levels. Now, the weather does come from a website called Vinsky. I'm not too sure where it's from, but I think it's quite easy to understand compared to other ones like Windy. And the levels do come from the Ministry of Water Resources in China. Now, numbers in China are never really transparent, and this has gone on for decades and decades. China will never release true numbers. So are these numbers true? Well, it feels like yes, but it could be a no. And if you compare it to the weather and you do the mathematics, it seems pretty accurate. It's just very strange that the levels are so high this time of year. We're only 2 weeks away into April, and April showers, this is the time when the rains will start slowly in China. The floods will start. The picture that we showed you earlier related to flood prevention, is this really happening, or is this just China doing talk the talk and not walking the walk, just showing something so everyone will rest their mind? Are the citizens who live in flood-prone areas prepared for 2022? In other words, do they have a 2-story house? Can they move everything upstairs so downstairs can be flooded? And when floods do happen, is the electricity cut off, etc., etc.? All these basic prevention methods, are they being implemented? Water and electricity obviously don't go together, but water can produce electricity through hydroelectric power. Is hydroelectric power a good thing, or should people revert back to nuclear power? Is all these questions, but we know one thing for sure, that we've got to stop using coal for global warming. We've got to start to use electric cars, EV. But $25 to fill your car up with electricity seems a lot of money. Yeah, granted, it's cheaper than petrol or gasoline or diesel, whatever, but it's still a fair whack for a very, very expensive car. All these things are all questionable, all debatable, and we're living in very trying and interesting times. Let's leave it there for today. Thank you, as always, for your time. Again, Tokyo there, when he was, oh my God, so young. Yep. I hope you enjoy Pammy and your mother-in-law, mother-in-law, who's 80 years old. Happy birthday. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow, which will be the weekend, Saturday. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.